Good morning, Lisa Johnson here for day one of the Race to Recurring Revenue Challenge. Now, last night when I did the launch party, which don't worry if you didn't come to that, but if you did come to that, you will know that I could see no messages yesterday, which is really hard when I'm doing something like this because I really need to be able to see what you're saying so that I can help you. So I'm hoping that today, this morning, the Facebook gods are going to be different and they're going to come on and go, yeah, you're going to be able to see all your messages. So I would love you to give me hearts, give me thumbs up, just so that I can see that you are here. Oh, I can see that Annie has said morning. This is a very good sign. Although one person did say hi yesterday and then I got nothing else, so you never know. Oh no, I can see a few mornings coming up. I can see Lydia's. Brilliant. I'm just going to give it a minute for things to people to see that I am live because Facebook likes to stall a little bit. And then as soon as we've got people coming on, I will get started. I promise not to keep you long. I definitely won't be more than half an hour. And we'll probably be around 20 minutes. Because what you'll notice, if you haven't worked with me before, and this is the first time working with me, you will notice that I don't do fluff. I basically think if you're helping somebody to get some kind of result, then actually all you need to be doing is telling them the information that they need and what they need to do so that they can go and do it. And this is why I don't call myself a coach, because I believe that coaches help people get the answer within themselves. And when I first started in this kind of business, I just wanted someone to tell me what to do. And so I've become that person that will just tell you what to do. Do this, 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 and this, and you'll get this. Thank you for the angry faces as well. Apparently, I had a look last night. We need a mix. So a few angry faces is okay, but we need some hearts and some thumbs up as well for Facebook to think it's real and to show more people. So thank you for doing that. Okay, so let me just remind you of the prizes that you are trying to win because you might not have been here last night for the welcome party. So what you're trying to do, I can see all of your comments, so exciting. So what you're trying to do is win either, first prize is going to be Dior. So it will either be, could be anything, could be Dior. You could choose Dior jewellery. I've picked out some nice ones for you. You could choose a Dior scarf or a different kind of accessory. But I will send you all the details of what you can have. The second prize is going to be Aspinall. So there's an Aspinall wallet or purse or passport holder ready for you. And then the third prize is going to be Fortnum and Mason hamper as well. Now, remember that there is also a special prize called a kindness prize. And this is for the person that's just helping out lots of people because we've done this for 5 years. We know that when you do a challenge like this, when you first start something, it can be really frustrating and you often need help. So if you're the type of person that is going to go and help people and, you know, just give them encouragement, brilliant. You are likely to win that prize. So we'll have a kindness prize as well. Yeah, I know you love Dior Deep. But yeah, so we've got all those prizes. All you have to do to win those prizes is 4 days. I'm going to be on here at this exact time for the 4 days. What you need to do, I'll teach you a little bit and then I will give you a task to do. You need to do the task. Sorry about my accent. Everyone says it's task. I'm like, sorry, I'm northern. And then put it into the thread. So there will be a thread in the Facebook group that says task 1 entries, task 2 entries, and you literally just put it in there. So anyone that does all 4 parts will be entered into the draw to win one of those prizes. Now, this is what you're going to see. The most amount of people that enter will be today. And each day, it might get a tiny bit harder. So if it gets a tiny bit harder, then obviously some people are going to drop off. So if you do all 4 parts, you are in with a good chance because not as many people will do day 4 as do day 1. So, you know, even if you don't win a prize, this challenge is going to help you start making passive income. That's what it's all about. Now, I always talk about transparency. The reason I do this challenge each year is because at the end of the challenge and at the end of the masterclass, we're having a masterclass to tie up this challenge, to tell you the winners of the challenge, and also to kind of if you're doing these 4 parts this week and you're like, I don't really get how these fit together, I will help you on the masterclass to see how it all fits together and how it's simple and easy. It's a system. And then on that masterclass, I will tell you more about one-to-many. I know we have about 600 of you already on the wait list for one-to-many, wanting to know, what it's going to be about this year and what new things are in it this year. It's my program to make passive income, but I won't tell you anything about that until next Monday because I want you to concentrate on this. And even if you can't come into one-to-many, I want you to do this anyway because this will at least get you started. One-to-many is obviously there's a lot of hand holding in it and it's more about the support and that kind of thing, but we will talk about that further down the line. Let's do the challenge first so that you can see that you absolutely can make passive income. So today, what we're going to be talking about is the difference between passive and semi-passive. So all passive income is, I know people talk about passive income like you go to a beach and somehow money rains down on you. That isn't what happens. Like, passive income is not passive in the first year. You are working a lot in the first year because, you're needing to understand how to make it, and you're going to create something that gives you money time and time and time again once you've created it once. So when we talk about passive income, all we're talking about is leveraging your time. I wish it was called leveraged income. It's basically no longer trading your time for money. So if we look at a normal person who does a job, they normally do the job and they get paid. Then they do another job and they get paid. That's not how passive income works. You do something, you get paid, and you keep getting paid for it. That's all it means. So passive income, if we talk about kind of how I started. So when I started, just to give you a 2-minute background on me. So I grew up in a council house like a lot of us did. And I left school when I was 16 years old because I was bullied really badly for being poor at school. And so I kind of clawed my way up into corporate world and ended up eventually working as a business analyst in a bank. But then I had twins. And it meant I had to change my whole lifestyle because I was on my own with the twins at the beginning. I was going through a divorce. And children were unexpected with me and my lifestyle. So I had to find a way to make more money because suddenly I was in a lot of debt. And the way that I did that was to start a business. I started a wedding business. I made lots of mistakes in the wedding business, didn't really know what I was doing. But then I learned about business and I turned that business around. And people started asking me, how I did that. So eventually I set up 6 years ago, Lisa Johnson Strategy, to teach people business. At that time, I'd only paid off some of my debts. So I was about 30,000 in debt at that time. So 30,000 in debt. And I started Lisa Johnson Strategy. But I'd learned a lot about business from the mistakes that I had made. So what I did was started teaching people all the things I knew, but in a really simple way. And while it went really well, that first year, I made £220,000. So that was great. It was more money than I'd ever seen in my life. While that was brilliant, I was working all the hours and I needed to find a different way of working because I was not seeing my twins. I was not seeing my new boyfriend. I was just like working all the time, doing one-to-one. So what I then did is I eventually heard someone talking about passive income on a podcast, and I went down the rabbit hole of passive income and started learning everything about passive income streams. So in that first year, when I was working 80 hours a week, making £220,000, by the time it got to the second year of my business, I was working 30 hours a month. So I had loads more time to spend with the twins, and I was making over £1 million. And then it grew, and now we've made 12 million. And I say we because it's not just me anymore. I have a team. So we've made 12 million in the last 5 years. So it's been crazy. And the reason I'm so passionate about this is because lots of people have businesses or do 9-to-5s and they make money. Great, but they don't have their time. And I think time is really important because it's the only thing we don't get more of. So let's go back to what is passive income. So what I realised when I learned all about it was that the easiest ways to make money in passive income is to do courses, memberships or workshops They're the easiest ways because we all have knowledge. And so that's what I started teaching people how to do. And, you know, there are different ways of doing it. So like, let's take passive income. So passive income, one of the first things I did was I did a business basics course called Fabulous Foundations, which I know some of you guys have already had. And I did that and I recorded it all and I put it, you know, just like on my website or like on a page somewhere and people could buy it. So I would, you know, I wrote the PowerPoint presentations and I did the workbooks and then I would wake up the next day to more money in the bank, which was brilliant. And that's completely passive. But I did decide that actually I prefer things to be semi-passive. Now, semi-passive means you put some time in. So how I did it, I wanted to make sure that people were getting results. I don't want to ever teach people things that aren't getting them results. And so I wanted to see that they were, and I wanted to make sure they turned up. We all know that lots of people take courses and they don't actually do the courses. I wanted to be that person that they do finish the courses, so they do get the results. So what I decided to do was teach it live. So I'd take the 10 modules and each week I would come on live just like I am now on a Zoom call or something, and I would teach it and they would ask questions. Now, some people came up to me and said, well, this is hardly passive, is it? You're spending 1 hour a week teaching it. I said, yeah, but the PowerPoint slides are already written, you know, a year ago. The workbooks are already written. So I'm only doing 10 hours of work. Now, if somebody had come to me at that time and wanted to work with me for 10 hours on a one-to-one basis, perhaps I could have charged around 10 or 15,000 pounds, which was high, was really high at that time. But the money I was making putting out a course like that and working one-to-many instead of one-to-one, so teaching lots of people something online, meant that I was making around 200,000, 300,000 for those 10 hours, which makes so much more sense. So semi-passive income is just as good as passive income. You just choose which kind you want to do. So that's about what passive income recurring revenue is. It's making money every single month from the same thing. Now, the good news is we are at the moment in what's being called as the entrepreneurial gold rush. So this is, since COVID, more people than ever before have wanted to start up their own business. So if you've ever had a business of any kind, you are in a brilliant position because you are going to be able to teach other people. Because when people start in business, the first thing they do is look up to somebody that's already doing what they want to do to learn from them, which means you're in a great position to teach. And those of you that don't have a business, brilliant as well, because more and more people are going into non-business memberships for social engagement because they realised during COVID that actually you can get that social connection online. So yeah, don't worry, there's replay. Some of you seem to have a couple of problems with it. It isn't our end because we have lots of people saying it's fine to me privately on the top of my screen. So it's not our end. So do go and watch it back again afterwards. So you're in a really good position. This is the time to be making passive income. This is the time to be learning. So what do I need to tell? I've got a piece of paper here because I go off on a tangent and I'll just start rabbiting on for ages and I don't want to give you fluff. I want to tell you only what you need to know today to start this journey. Yeah, entrepreneurial gold rush, exactly that. People over 50 are doing loads, yeah. So there's a massive amount of people that are like 50 to 60-year-olds that are going, well, hold on a minute. I don't want to do what I've been doing my whole life. I want a different thing. And so they do. So they go and start what actually they really wanted to do and they make money online so that they can still have their life. And that's what you want. Yeah, don't worry about the angry emojis. We do that on purpose. So I want to bust a few myths for you. First of all, I've had clients that make passive income right from starting up their business. So you don't have to be in business 5 years or anything like that to start making passive income. So that's one thing. I've had people who start their passive income journey at 70 years old. I've had 16 years old and 70 years old. That's another thing. So I don't want you to worry about age. I have people that make passive income that are not coaches. In fact, 60% of the people that I work with are not coaches. They do all sorts of different things. So you do not have to be a coach or a consultant or help people make money to be able to do this. In fact, one of my clients, who I'll tell you about further on in the week, has made over £3.5 million, and she doesn't teach anything to do with business or money. So you'll be able to see that you can. Now, when I started teaching people about passive income, what I realised, don't worry if you don't have a business or anything like that. Loads of people start without that. So what I realised is I was teaching the same way of doing it over and over again, and people were getting lots of results. I taught over 6,000 people, and I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of testimonials of people that have made money from passive income of all different ages and all different skill sets and, completely different backgrounds. So do not worry about that. But what I did is I trademarked this system of how to do it to make it easier for people. I trademarked a system called the cash system. I'll talk to you about that tomorrow. But the cash system is basically 5 steps of making passive income to make it really simple for people. So we'll talk about that either tomorrow or the next day. But it's a trademark system. So I'm teaching you something that has been done over and over and over again and has had success over and over and over again. So you don't need to worry that this is something new or hasn't been tested yet. So let's talk. What I don't want you to do is go, okay, I want a membership, or okay, I want a course. I don't want you to think about that yet because you haven't got your idea. What I want you to think about is who you want to help. The thing that you can actually do before you think about which kind of revenue stream, because you need to grow an audience of those people. And I'm going to teach you how to do audience growth as well this week. So don't worry. So let's talk about 4 areas that can work well when you're deciding what your passive income stream is. The first is whatever you do offline. Let's say you already have a business. If you have a business or you work 9 to 5 and you do something offline in real life, you can bring it online. That's the first way. The second way is whatever you do in your job now, you could teach other people. So let's say you're a personal trainer. You can show people how to do their exercises themselves without you standing there, maybe online with 1,000 people watching like Joe Wicks does. Or you can help people become you, basically. So let's say you're a website designer and there are other people that want to become website designers, but they don't know how to get started, or maybe they don't know how to use social media, or maybe they don't know how to use one particular program. You can teach them how to do that, and that could be your whole course. Or if you have had a look at that and you can't think how you can translate the skills you have now into teaching someone a course about something, then look at what jobs you've had in the past. Maybe you worked in customer service in a call centre. That means you know a lot about the customer journey that you could teach other people. Maybe you've sold things before. That means you can teach entrepreneurs how to sell. Maybe you've worked in advertising, so you understand social media. Maybe you can teach social media. So there's all these different things, graphic design, project management, so many things that you can do from jobs you've already had. If you look at all of those and you're like, well, none of those really work, then start to look at your life experience and your hobbies. The first passive income stream I ever bought was from somebody who was selling a PDF brochure of how to get around Disneyland with 2 under 2s. It was £47 and she was making hundreds and hundreds of pounds every month on this one thing that she had made. So think about the things you could do courses in. I've got clients that have got courses in dating, sex, hula hooping. I'm trying to think of all the random ones. Knitting, guitar playing, photography for children, like anything you can think of. Getting through divorce amicably, like anything that you know you can help other people with. So they're the different ways to think of what is my knowledge. Your knowledge is not common knowledge. We all think everyone knows what we know. They definitely don't. Your knowledge is not common knowledge. Yeah, ferrets, Natalie's saying. In my book, I wrote about David, who had a book on ferrets, having never owned a ferret. Like, it doesn't matter what you know, you can turn it into money. If anyone's ever come up to you and said, can I just pick your brains about something? That means you've got passive income in there that you can sell. Yeah, gift wrapping was another one someone did. I remember that course. Or you can have a membership. There's so many different memberships. Yeah, there was a priest that wrote, he was an older priest and he had sermons that he'd written and he had them all from his whole life. And so what he did is he started a membership where other priests who were younger and lazier would pay £20 a month or something to come into this membership, and he'd give them a sermon to use with their congregation every single week so they didn't have to write one. He was making a packet every month. There is so many different ways to make money. So we'll talk about growing an audience tomorrow, so do not worry, we will get to that. But I want you to remember one thing. There's a thing that people believe is imposter syndrome, which is where you feel like you can't possibly do that. Who would want to listen to you? You know, you'd feel like a fraud doing something like that. You're not the biggest guru in the world. Well, let me tell you a sentence of what being an expert in something is. Being an expert is the person that knows the most about a particular subject in an average room. Not in the world, not on the internet, not even in your town. In an average room. Stop worrying about audience. If you keep worrying about audience, you'll never start. Because yes, you are going to have to grow an audience, and I can teach you how to do that. But if we think of all the things we're going to have to do, we'll never start. We need to get started to be able to move forward. And it starts with working out what your passive income stream, what your knowledge is. What is the knowledge in your head that people can buy? Because you are an expert at something. You're an expert at something that I don't know. I'm an expert at passive income. Am I the only person that knows about passive income? Absolutely not. I'm just one of them, but I teach in such a way that some people like it and so they buy my courses. But you need to think about you. Have a think. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't actually have to be a big audience. You need to think about the knowledge that you have. And so this is your task for today. I want you to get a massive piece of paper, sit down and write out everything you know, whether it's from the business you do now, whether it's from a business you've had before, whether it's from a job you do now or a 9-to-5 you've had before, any transferable skills that you have, whatever that is, whatever you've done in your jobs that you think, I was really good at that bit, that's what I want you to write down. Any hobbies, any life experience, I want you to write down all of them, and then I want you in the thread to give me 3 topics that you are an expert in. Just 3. And what will set this off is you will read everybody else's and go, oh yeah, I know how to do that. I didn't think of that. But every piece of your knowledge can be sold, because even if you're just 1 step up further than someone else or 2 steps up further than where someone else is, they will want to learn from you because they're not where you are. So that's all you have to do. Yeah, the key to this challenge, this is a really good point, is to do it step by step. And actually the key to making passive income at all is to do it step by step. Never go too far forward, because that will always overwhelm you. Do it step by step, and you will see by Monday on the masterclass, when I wrap all this up, you've already come a really long way. So let's start there. I was a secondary school teacher. I know lots and nothing. So I've had many secondary school and primary school teachers make passive income. And they do it with putting out revision guides, or they help parents to help their kids. They put courses out helping parents help their kids study. They can do it on 1 subject. There's all different things. You can have a membership for other tutors. So many things that you can do, so many things. So you'll see that when everyone starts writing in what they do. And if you're in here and you already have a passive income stream because you've done one-to-many with me before, and you're making money from it, I would love you to write in the group what your passive income stream already is, because it will make other people go, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. So that's all you need to do. I'm going to leave you to get on with it. If you have questions, ask them in the group. But if you ask any questions on anything other than this task, I'm not going to answer them, because I want you to learn to do things step by step so that you get the results that you can get. So for today's thing, all I want you to do is write down in the thread that will be in the group, it will say task 1, challenge 1, entries. I want you to write your 3 different ideas of what you could do for passive income. And if you get stuck, ask. And everyone in there will help you. And I will be back tomorrow morning at 10 for day 2. I might pop in this evening to see how you're getting on. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, we're all here for you. We're all rooting for you. You can do this. You know you can, because there are hundreds of people out there already doing it. What's more, there are hundreds of people out there already making money from something you know more of than they do, simply because they decided to do it. All right, I will see you tomorrow morning. Have a good day, whatever it is you're doing.